Market segmentation is in reality quite complex, so let me give you a quick way to segment your market properly. You can see from this slide that we are about to embark on the second part of our market overview, uncovering segments and their needs. This brings us to the next slide. Please don't ask customers stupid questions about what they want. Let us give you the example of, say, a factory manager. If you observe the noise, inconvenience, the hassle, etc. of their daily lives, your job is to go back to your laboratory and invent something that will make their lives less noisy, less inconvenient, and so on. But please don't ask them stupid questions about what they want. This is why the majority of market research questionnaires are a waste of time, with their ridiculous 5-point Likert scales asking customers' views on a number of issues of interest to the supplier. But there is another reason why surveys, such as customer satisfaction indices surveys, don't work. It is because we ask questions of some mythical average customer. But without having done proper needs-based market segmentation, you end up with a survey that tells you absolutely nothing of value. This, however, is not the place to spell out how to do proper surveys. Suffice it to say that without proper needs-based segmentation, they just will not work. As you can see from this slide, reported in Harvard Business Review, of 30,000 new consumer products launched each year, in America, 90% of them fail. Why? Because fundamental paradigms such as market segmentation are broken. To summarize so far, as Mark Ritson of London Business School said, if the segmentation is wrong, your targeting and positioning will always be wrong. He also said, marketers who mistake stereotypes such as millennials for segments need a new job, and I agree with him entirely. But let me also dispel the popular myth that things like socioeconomics, demographics, geodemographics and the like are the bases for segmentation. This cannot be right, because not all A's, for example, behave the same. Nor do, for example, all women between the ages of 18 and 20, that's demographics, behave the same. Nor does everybody in my street, geodemographics, behave the same. So we clearly need to understand proper needs-based market segmentation. One more example should convince you of the crucial importance of market segmentation. This slide shows what an IT company used to put in its brochures, which was essentially the same as all suppliers. It is amazing that any supplier could imagine that things like multimedia frads, PIX firewalls and gigabit Ethernet would be of the remotest interest to customers. They don't care about this stuff. This slide shows the reality of the profiles of buyers in this particular category. You will see that there are 9 segments shown. The top right-hand one, Save My Budget. The next one down, Business General. The next one down, Save My Career. The next one down, Conservative Technocrat. Moving to the left, Technical Idealist, Radical Architect, Profit Engineer, Radical Thinkers, and Business Perfectionist, all on the 2 axes, Business Technical and Reward Relief. Each one of these people can now be profiled so that they can be communicated with in a relevant way, as well as, where possible, having special products developed for them. Also, as a byproduct of this segmentation, essential tools like CRM systems, balanced scorecards and the like will now work effectively. Armed with this knowledge, this company surged ahead of all its competitors and became the market leader and very profitable. Let us give you a very basic and simple example of how this quick market segmentation process works. First, write down the main benefits sought by customers. Hygiene factors are benefits that any product or service must have to be acceptable in the market, so please ignore these. Motivators are those benefits that contribute towards the customer's decision about which product or service to buy. Now take the motivators and choose the two main ones. Then draw two straight horizontal lines and make an estimate of the percentage of customers at each end. So, for example, if service level is a key motivator of what is bought, see this line below. Likewise, if the breadth of the product range is a key motivator of what is bought, see this line below. Now take the left-hand point of the first horizontal line and drag it over the second horizontal line to make a cross, as shown in the next but one slide. When you have your cross, starting at the top and moving in a clockwise direction, multiply 60% by 60% to give 36%. See the first circle in the next diagram. Then multiply 60% by 40% to give 24%. See the second circle. Then multiply 40%, the bottom line of the vertical axis, by 40% to give 16%. See the third circle. And lastly, multiply 40% by 40% to give 16%, the fourth circle. The circles represent segments in the market, as shown in the next slide. The first segment, 36% in the top right-hand box, is the biggest segment and requires both high service and a large product range. The second segment, 24%, prefers a large product range and is less interested in service. The third segment, 16%, doesn't care much about either a large product range or service. The fourth segment, 24%, prefers good service and is less interested in a large product range. Although not essential, you might consider giving each segment a name. When you've done this, ensure that your offer, including the product, price, service and promotion, reflect the differing needs of each segment. In completing this exercise, frequently there is one quadrant where the circle is much bigger than the others. If this is the case, please take this one large quadrant and do the exercise again using different criteria. You will then end up with 7 segments. For those who are interested, this method is based on a synthesis of Hirschberg's two-factor theory of motivation, Kotler's factors of segment integrity, Yankeliewicz's non-demographic segmentation ideas, and finally the orthogonality in customer motivation. This method was developed by Professor Brian Smith of Pragmatic. Although obviously we would prefer you to use the method spelled out earlier in this module, we know this simple method works satisfactorily. So complete the quick market segment exercise. For details of the full process, see our market segmentation book shown in the next slide. This is the end of this crucially important module.